Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air 2 with me, your Herd 37. So this is going to be take 2 on this video. It's actually, I've had the last 4 videos that I'm recording just go completely awry and could not finish them. And for this one, it's going to be the second try at this. We need to go down to Memphis. Remember, we have the twin Otter, and at the end of the last one, we ended up filling up our plane with building materials, I believe it was. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, building materials, so we can go down to Memphis, KMEM. I actually wanted to do this a few days ago. So on my days off, which I'm on now, we would be able to fly out of there, but like I said, it didn't get done. So we need to get it done now, though. So we're going to go down to Memphis. We have scenery for that. FSDreamTeam is awesome scenery. And yeah, we're going to go down there and create a base. So let's go ahead and actually let's go back over to our plane right here, the FedEx one. And let's go ahead and position this or fly it ourselves. And like I said, we're going to go down to Memphis, KMEM. I have no idea why that went off like that. There we go, KMEM. And actually, right before I do this, let's go over to FS Command. I actually forgot this the first time. By the way, I have did a complete reinstall of the computer, including FSX. We actually have ATC now. But we'll probably take off on runway 30. That's a heading of 299. And if you see the wind down here is coming out of the south, we're going to land on 18 center. That's a heading of 180 degrees. And airport elevation is about 285 feet. We will just come straight in. I'm not going to do traffic pattern around this. It's a huge airport, so I don't really like doing that. So we get out of there. Building materials. As you can see, I've got it fully fueled, 100% fuel, 100% on the capacity here. Actually, one of the first time when I loaded up, it says we were like 300 pounds overweight, but that's all right. I guess for the twin Otter, it got up just fine because I got most of the way there. We'll go all the way up to 10.5, and I'm going to move this time back to 2. So I think that'll put us at, what, 9:19, I think? And I know last time I checked this was 4. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are at the plane. I restarted FSX. I have to kind of go through it when I start up. With the twin Otter Air 2, sometimes it seems kind of odd the way it loads it and everything. So I have to restart FSX and go through it that way. Kind of looking here, we got one plane. I think that's actually ours. When I tried it the first time, there was actually 2 of our Cessnas over there, and a Dash 8, which wasn't ours, obviously. But it all looks good. So the plane started up because I came through FSX. It doesn't really, it acts odd when you do it through Air 2. So I went ahead and shut her down. So we can restart or start up ourselves. Parking brake is on. We're on external power. I'm going to go ahead and turn the DC master switch on. Position lights and anti-collision lights are on. Bus tie open. I don't know if you need to do that when we start or not for the alternators or generators, I should say. And let's zoom in here. And actually, we're not quite full of cargo. It's kind of weird because the configuration FSX, it has 7 rows. Instead of, actually, I think it should have 9, and the rest is all cargo on here after the 7 rows. So I do 340 for each row, and our cargo is actually 2,972 pounds. So I got it 100% fuel and not quite 100% full of cargo, and it does put it overweight by about 350 pounds, but we should be fine. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start up the left engine first. I think I've been starting up the right, and it should technically be left. So we'll do that now. There's 10%. We'll go up here and give it fuel. And of course, we'll watch the gauges, make sure she doesn't have a hot start. Alright, that all looks good. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the left generator. Just go for a right engine start. Have our 10%. And again, just watch the gauges over there. Alright, that looks good there. So we'll turn on the generator here. And let's really quickly, so I don't forget, pitot heat, I'm going to go ahead and turn on a windshield heat. I think I flipped this one on last time, thinking that was no heat. It wasn't. Alright, I'm going to leave the bleed airs off. We'll go ahead with no smoking and fasten seatbelt, although we don't have passengers, so we should be fine. Alright, so I started to set up our GPS, and I said, I'll do that after we start so we can see it. So I click there, and so maybe I need to click that again. Let's go for KHT. Let me get out of here. Alright, so here we go. Let's go for K. And then, it's not what I wanted. There we go. MEM, of course, for Memphis, because we're going straight there. CDE. And there we go, Memphis. Hit enter a few times, activate it. Let's go ahead and turn the messages off. They annoy me. And we'll hit CDI to switch it over to, that's not what I wanted, over to GPS. I'm going to go ahead and close that. So I'll set our altitude warning for 10.5. Save ourselves a bit of fuel. And 299 for the heading of the runway. We're still not going to use ATC, because I don't need ATC to get out of Huntington, and obviously I don't want it for Memphis. They'll try to tell us how to get there and everything. Oh, and one thing we need to do, switch it over to battery. That helps. Although it would probably still run. Just how they do it. Oh, I have it totally right. Taxi light coming on. Also, auto on those de-icer boots. Parking brake is off. And we have the always enjoyable taxi in the Twin Otter. Miserable sometimes trying to taxi in this thing. Air Hauler 2 notices it. See, she was going good. I didn't even touch the throttle, and all of a sudden she comes back to us and slows down, stops. Come on, girl. Unbelievable. So I'll move it up to 50% on the joystick, and she still doesn't want to move. We have a considerable power going into it, and she sounds like she brings the props back. I'm going to go ahead and put a lot more thrust in here to get her going. Alright, so back to 50% on the joystick. Let's see if she'll keep herself rolling. And see, it sounds like it brings the power back a little bit. And that's not me doing it. See, we're just like barely coasting. But sometimes when you put it there, she wants to really go. Although I'm going to go ahead and set the flaps to 10. That's all we really need to get out of here. I'm going to have to add more power here to get us going. And then back to 50%. And then see how she like takes off like that. It can be a challenge taxing this. And see now how it really wants to go. And I've got to bring it way back from 50% on the joystick. It's just I don't get it. Like different positions on it do different things at different times. It's very odd. If it wasn't for taxing, I would really love this plane. Although taxing doesn't totally matter. Oh, come on, plane. Alright, see, she's just... Man, it's maddening. You only have to like go 50% above and it just gets crazy. Alright, I'm gonna set the parking brake real quick, because another thing I want to do is we'll burn on these tanks down here first. We need to switch them on. I can't remember if it's the wingtip fuel tanks or what. We'll go ahead and turn those on. Those will actually burn before our two main tanks over here. And you'll notice, even on the loading right here, you'll notice that there's different weights here. And the gauges are even look a little different. You'll notice how, like, this has 14 written on it. That one doesn't. And you'll see that one's just below 12, and this one's over 13. I'm not sure why the discrepancy, but that's how it is. Transponder going on. Let me see if I can hit up the tower. I guess we're not quite close enough maybe to hit the tower. Park and break off. Let's just see if it'll switch the tower here in a second. Or do we have to actually contact them first? I'm just gonna say, actually I didn't want to talk to them. Let's just say we're going to the south. If they tell us runway 12, I'm gonna be kind of pissed. Although we could take off from either direction, really. That is 30. It's usually 30, like I say. Alright, acknowledge that clearance. Alright, so let's go over to the tower. Request our clearance. Kind of cloudy over there. Not too bad, though. Alright, so we'll acknowledge our clearance here. Landing lights coming on. We need to turn our strobes on as well. I'm going to leave the bleed airs off until we get up in the air. Got flaps set to 10. Transponders on. Reset my view. And get out of here. Actually, I'm going to go to flaps 20. We don't need it. I know we can get out of here because I've already done it once before. But I'll go flaps 20 just because it says we're 350 pounds overweight. Alright, we'll do a rolling takeoff. Alright, not quite full power. Remember, the engines on this plane will catch fire quite easily. I'm going to go ahead and rotate. So good, I'm going to go ahead and flaps 10. We'll pull back on the power just a little bit. You can see we're nowhere near the red though. Air hauler 2 notices we've taken off. Alright, retracting the flaps. And I'm going to go out just a little ways before we actually take the left. I believe that's kind of standard. You're supposed to go out a little ways. Alright, sorry about the interruption there, but AVG, my stupid ass antivirus, came on to ask me if it could do some setup crap. That's so annoying. Alright, we're done with them. Like the antivirus software just coming on while you're doing something. It's like, hey, we'd like to... I can't believe it. It's so stupid. Alright, so let's turn to the south towards Memphis here. We'll go a bit straight out. We won't go straight over to the line right away. Alright, let's go ahead and flip on to autopilot. I'm just going to use heading for right now. And let's bring the power back, but try to keep the nose up. That way we'll be able to use the indicated airspeed. Climb right around 1,000 feet a minute. I'll pull back on the power just a little more nose up to bring that speed back. Alright, I'm going to use that indicated airspeed right there. Now we'll give her a little more power and she'll Go nose up. We'll go ahead and turn the bleed airs on. OCD right there with the clicks. And you can see we're climbing nicely there. Just over 1,000 feet a minute. Bring up the GPS here. We see 404 miles, about 3 hours and 15 minutes to go. We'll switch over here to nav here in just a second. By the way, the scenery, everything is set to max on everything, 249. Going the opposite way. Is that 249? And this has been happening lately. This happened when I was getting really close to Memphis, getting drilled with like, I guess it's wind. Usually doesn't happen this close. So I'll have to check Opus and see what the heck's going on there. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this to nav. Alright, crossing 5,000 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and knock these back. Although usually when I knock those back, I get warnings up here about checking the props. Because I've been setting the props back to about 80%, and I think once you get to 90 it actually starts giving you a warning or something. We'll see that here in a second. And well, since I got to Memphis before, I know how much power you can use. I was actually backing it down to like 55% or something. A little worried about the fuel, but actually we'll be just fine using like even 75%. And what happens, once these tanks down here, when they go out, I'll switch this over to aft and try to equal out the tanks. And then once they're equal, I'll put it back on norm. So that's burning off both. Like I say, I don't know why it loads it awkwardly, even going through FSX. Well, hopefully no problems. I've had, like I said, the last 4 videos have just gone, I couldn't even complete them. Coming up on 6,200 feet. I'm going to go ahead and set my course here to 280. Or no, I'm sorry, it's 180. Which, like I say, is the heading of the runway. So 180 right there. Hopefully 10.5 we won't be up in the clouds. If we are, we'll come down a little bit. Even if we have to come down to 6,500. So let's see if I get the warnings here. 90%. I haven't got them yet. See if that keeps up. Trying to keep her at about 1,000 feet a minute. By the way, let's go ahead and turn this to 250. I had a discrepancy with that the other day on this flight too. The heading ended up going way left from what it said we were going. And you can't see this. I wish that worked. Reset my altimeter. Up on 7,500, got 3,000 to go. 398 miles away, just under 5 hours. We'll get there a lot quicker than that. See the snow here. There was no snow down in Memphis. We actually got drilled with snow, some weird snow the other day. I worked about 20 miles or so away from my house, and there were 4 wrecks trying to get home. Absolutely ridiculous. The weather, the temperature drops, you get some precipitation, people lose their minds and forget how to drive. I don't know what their problem is. But anyhow, I want to go ahead and speed her on up. We've already gone past 8,000. We've got just under 2,500 feet to go. In under 5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and speed her on up, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody's slowing it down to normal speed here. You can see we're about 10 miles out. I've switched over to heading mode and switched it over from GPS to the navigation. You can see we're right on the glide slope. I'm actually I've got it set to go down to 2300 alert us. Of course, it doesn't do it automatically. So I'm gonna back off on the power a little bit and let her come down a little quicker. Probably a little too much there. By the way, it is 111.95 is the ILS frequency. Yeah, had a problem there earlier on. I don't know exactly when it was, but all of a sudden the engines like shut off. But like you could hear the engine sounds, but they were technically shut off and everything. Fell down to like 3,000 feet or so. Finally got them turned back on. I have no idea what happened. I tried to turn the left one on and it would not start. Then I was able to get the right one started first try, and then the left one was able to start again. So I have no idea what was going on there. I'm thinking maybe there was some freezing going on. So I actually opened up here the prop de-ice. I turned that on and the intake anti-ice on as well. But that was after it was started, so I'm not totally sure what actually did. Alright, so we're dropping a little here on the glide slope, descent path. I'm going to mute my mic real quick. Alright, so get on the power just a little bit more to slow that descent. You can see we're basically holding our altitude right here. I'm going to swing a little over to the left. You can see we're a little too further out than we really need to be. It's, I guess, the downtown area over there. I've noticed we get really good frame rates, especially with this plane over in the Memphis area. It almost feels like, even with that scenery installed, it almost feels like it's better than stock, maybe. I probably shouldn't say that because I don't totally remember. Alright, we're looking really good on the descent path here. We're almost right on it. I'm going to go to the left a little more. Heading, of course, is 180. We're just below the descent path, or glide slope, I guess I should say. So I'm going to start pulling back on the power a little bit as it's going to drop as well. Alright, off the power a little more. We're going to get slightly high of it there. Looks like we're descending about 400 feet a minute. Getting close to needing to turn. I'll back off the power just a little bit more. If anything, I'd like to be a little too low. Sorry, I have to keep muting my mic. Alright, so now we're getting slightly below it. I like that. I'm going to add just a tad more power here. See, it comes up really quick and then it slows back down. I don't like how it does that. Add a touch more power here. I believe that's the left runway right there, I do believe. Start heading over towards it. Don't want to be too late. I noticed last time it's kind of hard to see them. I think the left one actually starts a little bit further down. I think that's going to be us right there. So I'm going to cut back right just a little bit. Bring it back on the power as well. I think that's the right one, and this is going to be center. The navigation will help out with that. We should be coming up on the intersection right here. Yeah, that's going to be the right, so this will be the center. You can see that coming. Wait, 0, I'm going to hit that over to nav. You can see it's right there. You see the glide slope right here coming up on it. Increase the power just a tad. Bring that nose back up, and we'll hit the approach hold. By the way, we have to manually take off the yaw damper. I put that on a little bit ago. I'm going to turn the anti-ice off up here. I don't know what I should do about the bleed airs, honestly. Alright, let's start bringing our power back a little bit here. We are at 100% on the RPMs. But we need to get our speed slowed down. Because we need to get our flaps out, obviously. I don't think it's just the arc of when you can start getting your flaps out. I think it is before that. I want to see, what is our frame rate to say at? 30? 24, 27? So it's pretty good. Speed coming down nicely. Going to flaps 10. As the speed comes down. Yaw damper off. I'm surprised we're not getting the wind problems like we did in Huntington. Like I said, that's been happening. We're falling a little low. Flaps going to 20 as I increase the power to gain the height again. Oh, we're gonna have a guy enter the runway on us. Alright, we're about to get a little high there. Alright, flaps 30, that's our landing flaps. I don't go full 40 on this plane. Oh man, and he had to just enter at like the perfectly wrong time. Like if there was a wrong time to enter, he's entering it now. A little shimmery there. Alright, decrease the power a little bit, fly her down to the ground. I said the landing was okay, it was a little slightly rough it felt. See if we can't get off the runway right here. I'm gonna go to the left. The main terminal, as you can see, is over there to the right. And since we're not a passenger plane, I thought we'd come over to the left. I think general aviation would be over here. Yeah, there's FedEx, there's the freight area. By the way, this is a major FedEx and UPS. Both? I can't remember now off the top of my head. But it is a major freight hub. I'm wanting to say Memphis is for UPS and FedEx is Louisville? Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, great. So, that didn't get recorded. I don't know what happened to FS Recorder. I know I installed that. But, that's not good. Yeah, FS Recorder is not up there anymore. Huh. So our landing didn't get recorded. That sucks. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Transponder coming off as well. Let's see, we got stopped. Come on. I don't... That's the thing about the engine sounds. I don't know why sometimes it sounds like it's... They go up and then on their own they just come back. Like I'm at 50% on the joystick, and that is a fair amount of thrust you can hear. Now she's going to speed up a little bit. Let's make sure runways are clear. I wonder if we should have used the left one since this is the freight area over here. Well, see, we're really picking up speed now. Although we'd be further down had we taken it too, because you can see that's the start of it right there. Wow, plane. We're getting a little wild here. Yep, see, this is the UPS hub. Someone just died here on Thanksgiving, wasn't it? Horrible. Alright, so let's check outside here. I think we're going to go to the left and just park over there with them. Why not? Even though, I just thought about that now, right now. We are FedEx, our livery. We can actually turn those bleed airs off. Keep seeing that flashing up there. When you bring the power back, it'll come back on every time. But we'll share the parking area with UPS, why not? I wish World of AI would get the newer liveries for UPS. You can see those are the old ones. I'm sure by now their entire fleet's got to have the newer paint scheme. They do look rather old. Easy, girl. We're gonna go right straight over there. I can't tell which. I think they actually park the other way, though, don't they? That's what it looked like. Oh, those things just disappeared. That's weird. The taxi lines literally just disappeared. What in the heck? That's very odd. I've never seen anything like that. Odd. Alright, so parking brake coming on. And we don't use procedures, of course you can see that by now. Taxi light is off. Bleed airs go off. Fasten safety belts. No smoking. I'm going to turn those de-icer boots back to off. Let's see, I'll switch this over to external power. Window heat. Pitot heat, you go off. Cut the fuel. Air hauler 2's got it. Generators, you go off. And I guess if we want to go total cold and dark, cut that. DC master switch goes off as well. And that should have everything off. So let's go over to Air Hauler 2 and get our base started. Alright everybody, so here we are in Air Hauler 2. We'll go ahead and finish the flight monitoring. I am going to leave it on there. I'm going to start the base and then unload it. Because I'm afraid if I unload it, it'll just unload it to the airport and then kind of screw us over when we go for our base. Alright, so we took off at 3:31, landed at 7:17. It says it took 3 hours and 45 minutes. Takeoff fuel, 2,995 pounds. Landed with 1,142 pounds. Max altitude, 10,533 feet. Max pitch, negative 14.1. Max roll, 26.3. Max speed, 157.79 knots. Minimum G's, 0.63. Minimum G exceeded 0. Max G's, 1.62. Max G's exceeded 0. Stall, false, overspeed, false. Standard description, okay. Gear down, true. Concrete, no damage to the runway, no damage to the plane. Came down, yeah, a little quick there, 183.41 feet a minute. Landing speed 63.46 knots. Pitch at -5.68. Landing roll 0.68. Landing heading 186.75. And landing wind speed 16. Wind direction 208. So here we are at Memphis. This will clear up here in a second. I know. Come on. Oh, you're beginning to be more like Air Hauler all the time. Alright, so over here at bases, and we should have one here to open. Here we go, open base. Memphis, this is where all of our planes are. Remember, you can open a base anywhere where your planes are. It's different air hauler, you can have it wherever. But here you can have this wherever one of your planes are right now. So we use Memphis. Go ahead and select this. Cost 1.2 million. You can see we have 5.8 million right there. And it'll cost 112,364. So it's pretty expensive. So we need to make this count. Landing description should be complete on 12/18 at 3:57. 3:57 right now. The 18th, that's 5 days. Today's the 13th. So build the space. Yes. Alright, so let's go over here to our plane here, and let's see what happens if we try to unload this. Building materials, unload to the base building site. So I guess that would be yes. Alright, so building time reduced by 4 hours. Yeah, so 2,972 pounds only reduces it by 4 hours, so you're not getting a lot. I could use Caitlin the next few days. You know, if you do 6 runs with Caitlin, it would reduce it by a day. It's going to be kind of iffy by around the holidays because I don't have much time off. I get off on the 23rd. I said it'd be done by the 18th. That's 5 days before. That might actually that'll do pretty nice because I got 2 days off right now, today and tomorrow, and then I got work 5, and then I get off again for 2 days, but then soon after that is the holidays. I'll be out of town. There's no flying then. But and I've got to get FS Recorder working. I don't know what happened to that. I had it set up and everything. But here we are down in Memphis, down here. I have our nice base. That's pretty expensive though, 1.2. I think I have to get the Chieftains up and running for passenger rides. I'm going to redo my routes. I'm going to keep everything the same. I just want to get everything in order. I'm getting our more experienced pilots into the bigger planes. I had like Zach Cotterill is like a level 21. He's our highest rated guy, and he was flying like a Skyhawk or something. It was a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, there he is, ace pilot, and he was flying a Skyhawk. So I think I've got to get him on the Chieftain. When we go up to the next plane, we'll move those guys over to Twin Otters, and that'll really change things. So I think our Chieftain, how many does our Chieftain hold? We may have gone over this before, but Chieftain. Actually, let's go to Marketplace. We might be able to see it better there. Aircraft. Because we got this thing to set up, hold 18 or 19 people. 19 people. And let's see, it's the King Air. So the Chieftain's holding 9, so yeah, we'll more than double it. That means more than double the income. So that's pretty sweet right there when we get a couple of those going. But I'll try to fly at least 3 more flights. I'm trying to do 5 in each one. I don't know if we should include the type rating or not, but that's how it's looking right now. So I think when we get to Twin Otters, we'll even pick up even more money. I mean, we've got 4 months worth right now, and they're just going to keep on adding. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope y'all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.